Hello, board. As you know, we have been rolling out our digital business strategy over the last year.
And while we have had lots of technology enable our workforce to remotely work as fast as possible and from anywhere, it comes with consequences.
Yeah, it turns out that all those digital products like Slack and Teams and OneDrive that we've been rolling out to make everyone productive and move fast, that's worked. But
If you took a look at the last year's Verizon Data Breach Report, 85% of all the breaches that was covered were due to human factor. So there's something we're missing here.
and those humans are occasionally using those technologies that we've rolled out to exfiltrate data from the company.
And in addition to employees who are maliciously and disgruntledly exfiltrating data, we're also seeing unintentional error.
The reason we don't call it insider threat anymore is I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they think of this space is to think about every risk created by insiders as a threat. In fact, the large majority of activity is actually risky behavior, but that wasn't designed as a threat, didn't involve the malicious actor. As we all know, if we've been in security for any amount of time, users do stupid things and they do stupid things that create risk. And what we're all trying to do in this space is minimize that kind of risk.
What are the permutations that make up insider risk?
So one of them is you have your malicious and intentional, and then you have your unintentional, which I think is probably the most benign way of saying it. But there's still mistakes, right? Whether or not I am introducing ransomware because I'm getting a kickback, or if you're introducing it unintentionally, you're still introducing ransomware in an organization. But there's this whole spectrum of unintentional all the way through. I work for a foreign government and am paid actively to subvert documents. I really do think that the industry is finally caught up in moving it from insider threat, which I think talks about it in a very narrow way, to insider risk, which is looking at potential ways my employees can lead to an incident and their motivation may vary.
I actually think training can make an enormous difference. And what we started doing is we started building these training videos for our own staff when they started doing things wrong. So we've broken the training videos down into three kinds. The first is proactive, which is the standard security training we all get. Hey, software engineer, you are not allowed to take source code. The second kind is situational. So when something happens, so for example, someone gets their access management privileges increased. Hey, you now have higher access privileges. These are the things we expect from you with regard to insider risk. Then the last part, and this is one a lot of security teams are loving, reactive training. We just noticed that you mailed corporate documents using your Gmail account. Please know that that's not authorized here. If you need help with your email client, please contact IT. Da 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 da. So those three kinds of training we think are one of what I call the three T's of a good insider risk program is transparency, training, and technology. And that training is critical.
There's a lot of telemetry already out there that can gauge how secure your culture actually is. It's just a function of defining what it means for you and your organization. There's two ways to do this, right? So there's ways that you can reinforce what you want from your employees from a culture perspective with controls and policies and helping using technology to do this. And then I can also use positive reinforcement and encouragement to encourage employees to do more of that. That's my favorite way of getting salespeople and executives to do more of positive security actions that we want. And when you can identify what someone does at an individual level, it's so much easier to give them personalized feedback and personalized recognition and reward